Hello, Kidney Warriors! James here from Dadvice TV, your online kidney health coach, and this is Dadvice TV Live. And for those of you that are joining us for the very first time, welcome. It is awesome to have you here. You're going to learn a lot about living with kidney disease, improving your quality of life, and being able to do things that you may not have thought you could do. We don't let kidney disease hold us back here. Now, if you are new, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is James, and I was diagnosed a handful of years ago, stage 5 kidney failure. And the doctors told me, James, it does not look good. You need to go on dialysis. Well, I never went on dialysis. I never got a transplant. Instead, I worked very closely with my doctors and with the most important person in my life, a renal dietitian, actually multiple ones. And I learned how to eat right. And as I learned to eat right, my overall health improved. And as my health improved, so did my labs. And eventually, I got rid of stage 5. I got rid of stage 4. I made it to stage 3. And more importantly, I got rid of all the symptoms. And now I'm doing great. Now, the key for me was being healthy and eating right. And when it comes to eating right, we got to find the right foods unique to us, and we're all going to be a little bit different, and we need to learn how to prepare our meals, because buying all that processed stuff is not good for you. And we're going to talk about a recipe today. And with us, we have, and I'll bring her on camera in just a moment, Meghan, who represents Flavis. They make food, one of the very few companies out there specifically for kidney patients. This actually is considered a medical food, and you can order it. It's low protein, low phosphorus, low potassium, low sodium, full of flavor. And in today's show, we're going to show you how to use one of their products to make a really cool meal. Great for a kidney lunch or a kidney-friendly dinner. Now let's go ahead and get to our guest, because it's Friday and we don't want to be sitting on here too long on Friday. So we're going to jump right into introducing her, getting to meet her, and then seeing how to make this delicious meal. Go ahead, everybody, and welcome Meghan. Hey, Meghan.
Hi.
Go ahead and tell those that are new here a little bit about yourself and about Flavis.
Yeah, so I am a registered dietitian who works at Dr. Schär, which makes Flavis kidney-friendly foods. So I've been working at Schär now for almost 3 years, so pretty long time, and I specialize in kidney disease and digestive disorders like celiac disease or irritable bowel syndrome. So really happy to be here. I'll tell you a little bit about Dr. Schär. So we are an Italian company that has been working to make special food for people with specialized diets for about 40 years. And we are, like I said, our headquarters are in Italy, but we have offices all over the world in France, in Germany, in Brazil, the UK, and of course in the US. So our US office is in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. I live in New York City, so Lyndhurst is pretty close to New York City if you know the Northeast area at all. And yeah, you can find Flavis Foods right now in the United States, in Italy and France, and hopefully some other European countries soon. But basically, our foods are low in protein, sodium, potassium, and phosphorus, and they're high in fiber. So we're really trying to design foods that are appropriate for kidney disease. So you feel safe, you don't have to worry about anything when you're eating them, and they're really just good tools to use when you're following a kidney diet. So we make things like breads and pastas and cookies and crackers. So all things that you might think are a little indulgent, but um, we're an Italian company, so that those are the types of foods we make.
But the most important thing about the foods is not only that they're focused for people who need to watch their health, especially their kidneys, is that they taste great.
Yes.
So many of the meals, when I first was diagnosed, let me tell you, my wife tried, bless her heart, to make me my very first meal when I got out of the ICU. It was a vegan, 100% sodium-free chili. And we couldn't do more than a spoonful of it. It was so flavorless, so bad. But I've had so many of the Flavis products. I go through them. My wife has even eaten them. She can't even tell that this is a health food because it tastes great. And there's so many different ways to use it, which is why I absolutely love having you on here to talk about different renal diet recipes and Flavis products.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. So, I mean, we have so many recipes on our website on flavis.com. You can check. We have tons of recipes, but I'm going to share one with you today that is Italian inspired and kind of summary. So,
Yeah, and what is I'm not going to try to pronounce it. Everyone who's a regular knows I am awful with words I don't say often. I can say nephrologist all day long, but how do we pronounce what we're going to learn how to make today?
so it's panzanella. So panzanella is an Italian bread salad. It's actually got an interesting history if you want me to talk
Oh,
about it.
sure, sure.
Yeah, so it's from the Tuscan region of Italy. Back, they didn't they used to have not a lot of access to bread, specifically during the war, but it's such a staple in the diet, and so they needed to do something with day old bread. So they would a
Hmm.
lot of times make soup, or they'd make salad with like this dried out bread, and that's where this panzanella comes from. We don't use stale bread in the recipe for this, but you
Right.
could. I mean, if you're ciabatta, you were going to use the crostini in this recipe, which are already kind of like a crouton. But if you wanted to use like day old ciabatta or something, you're welcome to do that. You just cut it up and it's really, really good. So it's the point is the bread soaks up all the flavor and it's really, really delicious. So
Yep. And we're using the crostinis in this, which is
yep.
small little toasted breads. I
Hmm.
absolutely love them for hummus or putting something on them and
Hmm.
eating them. The only downside I personally have with them, they're a lot like your guys' cookies. You open a bag and it's easy to just keep going and going and going because they actually have flavor in them. It's just not
Yeah.
plain bread. Whatever you guys do to them, they taste good. And you got to be careful. Don't open a bag of them and sit down in front of Netflix because you're going to eat the whole little bag and be
Yeah,
like,
I
oh.
mean, they are a nice, light, airy, crispy
Yep.
snack. But they're really good for
Perfect
using
for
other things.
dipping. They're so
Yeah, perfect for
strong.
dipping. Or if you want to do breaded vegetables, you can crush them up and bread your vegetables with them and put them in the air fryer. I love
Oh,
that. But
didn't
this
think
salad,
about that. Yeah.
yeah, you can do a lot of things with them. You think of them like a crouton or like a breadcrumb.
Yep. I did make some little pizzas out of them because I've got to have a little bit more potassium in my diet. My potassium always runs on the low end. So eating tomatoes is a big thing for me. So I made a
Hmm.
little bit of pizza with some Swiss cheese, which is low sodium, and a little bit of a tomato sauce that I just blended up in our little blender. I'm not great at blending those things up yet. I blend them. It's just the flavor's not all there. I throw in a little bit of basil and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and I put some sliced black olives, put them in the toaster oven. It wasn't very long just to melt the cheese. And I had my little pizza bites that were on the healthier side.
Yep. Yeah, and that's great, right? It's about little changes that eventually, when they add up, they go a long way. So I love
Yep.
that.
So let's go ahead and let's take a look at today's recipe.
Yeah.
And we'll bring it up here. Now, what's cool is this only takes about 20 minutes.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah. All right, bring down the volume of the music there. There's our name. It's a medium skill level. I can make this. Actually, everyone
This
can
is
make this
low.
one. It should be
Everybody can do this.
easy. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so pausing here on the ingredients. I mean,
Yep.
really not a lot. You've got your tomatoes, you've got cucumbers, a little basil, olive oil, onion, all things that most people just kind of have. I will say, um, don't limit yourself to this. If you really like lettuce and like romaine lettuce goes great with something like this because it's also really crispy. You can just add it. You can also, it's summertime, peaches add a peach to this, a really ripe peach, it's going to taste amazing with this recipe. So this is a base. This is the classic panzanella, but you can add to it, make it a green salad. You can add a protein if you need more protein. I mean, this is I'm focusing on a low protein diet here, but you can of course you need some protein. You can of course add it
I
here.
I could
So,
see grilling a little chicken breast,
yeah.
chopping it up, mixing it in here, get
Yeah,
a bit
and
of
that's great
protein.
because you're getting your protein from a good quality source. You don't have to worry about it in your bread. So that's awesome. So yeah,
Yep,
lots of good stuff going on in this recipe, but you don't have to limit it to this. If you really like other things, throw them in.
sounds good. And I love the variety.
Yeah.
All right, I did hit play. Here we go. I had the audio turned down. There we go, so we can't see it's going forward. All right, here we go.
Yeah, here's the crostini. So you can see they're nice toasted breads. We're gonna soak them. So you're
Now,
soaking them
why are
because you
we
want.
adding vinegar to the water? I actually, when I watched it the first time, I was like, oh, I've never done this before. Vinegar and water. I love malt vinegar on practically everything, so I'm a
Mhm.
vinegar, fan.
Yep, so this is your flavoring agent. So, we don't want too much vinegar can be really pungent. So this is just kind of diluting it a little bit. But you still want the flavor because the vinegar is going to be like, the basis for your dressing. So um, you're trying to let the crostini soak up the liquid and absorb that flavor. And this is the reason it takes 20 minutes because you're
Yeah,
soaking the bread.
exactly.
um,
Letting it soak for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, so tomatoes, remove the pulp. I mean, honestly, that's an optional step. I do if you don't mind the pulp, like fine.
It's funny. I've actually never removed the pulp from tomatoes. I slice them
Yeah,
up and.
I mean, so they're going to add it, so they're going to use it for something else, but this is again optional. I think, you're going to if you cut up your tomato pieces however whatever size works for you. Some people like them a little smaller. But summer amazing tomato season.
Hmm. And a
That's
lot
just
of kidney patients mistakenly
mhm.
avoid tomatoes just because they contain potassium. And it's
Yeah.
important for everyone to know you only need to limit them if you're having trouble keeping your potassium within the normal range.
Yeah.
Most kidney patients, unless they're stage 5 or really, really low kidney function, don't have problems with potassium. As a matter of fact, I'm one of those ones where the doctor's like, hey, sometimes mine swings way too low and I've got to add some to my diet. And then I kind of hold there, trying not to go too high.
Yeah, I mean, listen, potassium is important. It's important for your nerve and muscle function. It's important for
Your
maintaining good
heart.
hydration. It's heart healthy. Yeah, you need some potassium. And so what I always tell my patients is like, low potassium doesn't mean no potassium. We just have to be strategic about it. And most of the time, if you're eating good quality fruits and vegetables that are high in fiber, you don't need to worry quite as much. Whereas if you're eating a lot of processed foods with extra potassium additives, that's really different. So it's just kind of where your sources are and yeah, what your blood levels are. And a lot of times online, they don't explain that if you're just reading articles.
Exactly. And I made the mistake of over restricting a lot of things in the very beginning because I didn't know that because it really
Yeah.
isn't explained online until I worked with a dietitian. And she told me, she's like, what the heck are you doing? You cannot
Mhm.
live with no sodium. You need some.
Yeah.
Here's how much you need at least. Don't go over this number. And that just, once I learned I can have these things, just not too much, oh, life got so much easier.
Yeah, and avocado is another thing that could go well in this salad, but a lot of people avoid because of the potassium. But so I just always like to tell people, it's about the portion size, it's about how much what your blood levels are. It's very individual. So if you're working with a dietitian, they'll guide you through it for sure.
Yep. And I love avocado. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
same. All right, cucumber. The cucumber is, if you don't want to peel it, you don't have to. I like to buy those Persian cucumbers that don't have a really thin skin, so I don't like to waste time peeling cucumber, but you can.
See, I never peel my cucumber. I love cucumbers.
Yeah,
Slice them
yeah.
up. Mm.
Slice them up, so good. All right, and the onion. So the onion's important for the flavor. If you don't like red onion, you can certainly do a different one. You could do shallot, you could do green onions, you could do white onions, whatever onion you like. The purple's nice for color though. We like that.
Yep. Yeah, it's good.
Um,
And that's one of the cool things about eating more plant-based is all the color.
yeah, for sure. All right, so your crostini are nice and soaked up, and you can break them up. Kind of, they should have absorbed that white vinegar flavor. Um, I think they use the whole bag in this recipe again. You don't want to necessarily eat the whole bag in one sitting, but if you're sharing, this can
But
maybe
we're making
make
2 servings. We're making enough
two
for 2.
servings. Yeah, yeah. So you mix it together. So good.
And this, we're not adding any sugar or anything with sugar to
No,
this recipe.
nope, not at all. It's really compliant with everything. So extra virgin olive oil here
Mhm.
works great. If you had avocado oil, I mean, extra virgin olive oil is really an Italian thing, but you can use
Yep.
avocado oils and other really good ones. So love that. Basil. You know what I would also
Oh, I
do?
love
That
basil.
tomato pulp you scooped out, I'd probably
Yep.
pour it back in for extra tomato flavor, just
There you
for me.
go.
Yeah. And then the basil is delicious. You can use dried basil. Just about a quarter of what the recipe calls for is what you would do for the dried version. So if it's like a tablespoon, I think it's like a
Yep.
quarter
And that's
tablespoon.
all
Yeah.
there is to it. We've now got a meal,
Yeah.
something to eat.
Yeah.
That's at least with following this recipe, it doesn't have, animal protein or any of those things
Hmm.
that we may have to worry about. If we're diabetic and we have to watch our sugar, there's not extra sugar in here, just a little bit of carbs with, the bread and other things, but it's not that bad. This could
No.
fit a diet really easy.
Yeah. And I will say, so this is an Italian salad.
Mhm.
Let's change it up, make it like a Greek salad. Because honestly, a lot of the ingredients are the same. If you wanted a Greek style, you could just do red wine vinegar instead of white wine vinegar. You could do oregano instead of basil, and you're basically Greek style. You could add some of those peppers, and
Oh my goodness,
you know,
yes. I would grill up some red peppers and slice them up and
yep,
put
yep,
them in
and
there.
that, and then you have Greek style panzanella.
Oh, see, that's
Yeah.
amazing how we can make just simple changes to an existing recipe and have something that tastes completely different, but still we're not sitting there worrying about, uh-oh, I got to have very little of it because it's high in
Hmm.
this and high in that. This is something that's easy to fit in the diet. Back in the day before I got married, if I was dating my wife and she made me something like this, I would think, wow, she got fancy on the cooking. It looks good and it looks
Yeah.
homemade.
Yep, and it sounds fancy. And again, like I love to add peaches to panzanella salad. Like I think it's delicious. So summer season, let's add some. Yep, you can eat add apples. Someone's saying I eat onions like I eat apples, but you can also add apples
Hmm.
to this. Not a bad idea.
Yeah. So I'm not a big fan of onions. I do like them. I would put a
Yeah.
few onions. I would probably, just thinking of what I like and what's in the fridge, I would take a few radishes and dice
Mhm.
those up
Oh
and
yeah.
pop those in there to substitute part of the onion. Oh, I love radishes and the
Yeah.
absorbed flavor. It's like,
They
oh,
totally do. Yes, radishes would be an awesome addition here. Yeah. You could do
awesome,
garlic
awesome,
powder,
awesome.
so
Oh,
many
yeah, yeah, yeah. Give it a
options.
little bit more of a kick, a little garlic flavor.
Yeah, for sure. Any flavoring you want.
Wow.
So this is, I mean, how easy was that? That was so easy.
Exactly. The hardest thing in there was really just slicing some tomatoes and some cucumbers. And if you have trouble slicing cucumbers and tomatoes, you probably need some help in the kitchen. Just have somebody else, you guide them, you
Yeah.
instruct them. Here's
Yep.
what to do.
Yeah, and if you want to add, a really good, you could add whole grains. So something like quinoa or brown rice. You could
Oh, yeah.
add, if you wanted a little cheese, why not?
Hmm.
If that's something that you eat. There's this is really a base recipe, and you can just build it to make it whatever you want. That's what I love about this, like these types of salads is, we
Mhm.
have a little base and then you can just flavor it, make it your own. And, you feel kind of accomplished when you create your own custom recipe.
Awesome. Now I'm going to bring you up here on the screen all by yourself just because I want to point out the link there. So if anyone wants to learn, so you don't have to use the Flavis products, the crostini, but if you do, it's going to be healthy for you. It's not going to be loaded with preservatives and extra sugar and all that other stuff that we don't need. You can learn more about Flavis at their website, which is www.flavis.com, right there on the website. And they are doing a discount right now. If you use the coupon code Dadvice, you will get a discount if you decide to order some products from them. Depending on where you live, some of the products have to be shipped in from Italy, so it might take a little bit of time. And we did have someone who said they ordered 3 weeks ago and they haven't received their order yet.
So
Is there a phone
definitely.
number Olivia can call to check on her
So
order?
if you go on the Flavis website or the shop, you can just do chat with us and our customer service will follow up. There must be an error because that shouldn't be the case. I think 3 weeks is way too long. It's usually
Yeah,
under 2 weeks.
and for me, it's like a week, and I think it's just because I'm so close to the coast here in
Yeah,
Ohio.
yeah. So that I feel like something may have happened. So definitely reach out to our customer service. I think you can also email info@flavis.com, but don't quote me on that. Just go on the website and check.
Yeah. Chat is great because you're getting someone
Yeah.
right away and getting it taken care of.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are there any new Flavis products that you've added to your menu since we've last chatted? It's been a
Not
month or so.
not right now, but I would like to kind of pull the audience because next month we're going to try to do something a little different, and I'm curious what kinds of recipes people want to see. So,
Do you want to tell
I
them
don't know,
what we're
maybe
thinking of
James,
doing?
we're thinking about doing a live cooking show. So you're going to have me in the kitchen, I hope. I mean, assuming everything goes as planned, but that's my hope. So if anyone has any recipes they want me to make, I'm going to try it. Although, keep it kind of simple. I can't be like baking things on the
Yeah.
show. But yeah.
Yeah, nothing that takes too long to prepare.
Yeah, or if it does, then I'll prepare it beforehand. But we want to keep things simple here, right, James? We want to
Yep.
just easy recipes. But yeah, I think if you guys want to send me ideas, happy to try it.
Yeah, guys, just post ideas. If you're watching this video and it's not live, just post them below in the comments. I'll make sure they get to Megan.
Yeah.
And it would be fantastic to do a live cooking show. There's a lot of challenges, and if anything goes wrong, if you drop anything, our audience is fully understanding. They'll just laugh along with me, and
I
we'll
know.
get through it.
I've done a lot of cooking demonstrations, but not a lot of them on video, so we're learning.
Now, there was a question that came up. Do you guys have a Facebook page?
Yeah, it's just flavis.us on Facebook.
Perfect. And I'm going to bring you up there so they can see how to spell Flavis.
Yeah.
Flavis. Actually, you know what I can do? It's right here on the front of the box. Flavis.
Oh, yeah. There it is. Yep.
This is probably my favorite thing. Well, no, the cookies are by far my favorite. Anyone who loves Chips Ahoy cookies, they taste so similar to those.
Yeah.
The only downside I have is that I just want to eat all of them. And my kids like them too. And I just say, no, those are Dad's. That's medical food, not for you
Medical
guys.
food. That's true.
Oh, Alice is already recommending mac and cheese.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Wait,
I'm gonna think about that.
That one wouldn't be too hard because you got all the different kinds of pasta.
Yeah, it's just a matter of making it kidney compliant. But I think I'm gonna think
Yeah.
on that one. I think I might have a idea in mind.
Oh, I like that because mac and cheese is something that who doesn't like macaroni and cheese?
Everybody likes it.
Yeah. And if you can figure out how to do the cheese so that it's not high in sodium and stuff, well, I think there could be some good stuff there.
Potential. Let me think on that.
Yeah. And we have someone here watching for the first time. Hey, great to
Oh.
have you here.
Great.
Usually we're on a little
Welcome.
bit later, but it's Friday and we're doing an earlier show so we can go and start enjoying the weekend because summer is here.
Yep. And it's going to
Oh,
be beautiful in the East Coast this weekend. I don't know about where you are, James, but it's going to be
It
nice
it
here.
it it was just storming. As a matter of fact, I hooked up my phone so that I could show you guys how bad it was raining outside. Because it can access the cameras. But it stopped. So what we have is the cicadas. And we're gonna
Oh,
have
that's in Ohio?
oh yes, there are oh my goodness. First of all, some of the trees look like beehives. There's so many of them flying around. When I walk outside, they latch onto me. They get stuck in my wife and my daughter's hair, and they're like making their noise, trying to get a mate.
Oh no.
There are millions and millions of them. Luckily, they don't bite. They're just out here. Alice said she loves cookies. Alice,
Oh,
if you've had the Flavis cookies, they are awesome. If not, try their cookies. They're little chocolate chips, just like taste not exactly like, but very similar to Chips Ahoy. I do not like soft, undercooked style cookies. I like the crispy kind that you want to dip in stuff, and that's exactly what you guys have. And Greg has asked for any recipes with nuts and beans, if you can think of
okay.
any of
Nuts and
those.
beans. Great. Okay.
My mom, Connie, says salads for a picnic. Well, yeah, we
Okay.
do. Oh, wait, we have a family reunion in 2 weeks. Now, we won't be doing it before that. Let's see. What else do we have here in the comments? That looks like we're pretty much caught up with everyone. So it's been about half an hour. I think we've made a great run through the recipe. We kept it kind of short. Talked about lots of options. Got some more things. Allison's going to be hot in the southwest coast of the U.S. Oh my goodness, you guys are going through a
Yes.
drought over there too.
Hmm.
Oh, I want to go back to Vegas and go back to Hoover Dam. I've seen video and pictures of what it's like. I haven't been there since Hoover Dam, probably like 2006 or so,
Oh, wow.
and it looks completely different from the photos. I badly want to go there, but I don't know if I'll make it this summer. Maybe next summer. It'll be even lower then. All right. I want to thank everyone out here for watching us. It was great having you all here today. You can learn more at dadvicetv.com. Also, see all of the past recipes that Megan has shared with us on dadvicetv.com. And you can go to flavis.com to learn all about Flavis, see the different products that they offer. And if you're interested in buying some, pick up some. You're going to love them. It's going to give you more variety, and it tastes great. That's the most important thing. All right, Megan, thank you so much. I'm going to let you go because I know you've got to run and pick up your son and get your car out of the garage before they close it for the weekend.
Yep. All right. I'll
All
talk to
right,
you soon.
everybody.
Bye,
Yep.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.